Hey guys, so welcome back. Today we'll be reviewing subtracting larger decimals from smaller decimals and looking at the proper way to actually subtract these types of problems. So the first example that we have is 2.6 minus 3.198. So just looking at this example here, we see that 2 is less than 3. So we know that when we are subtracting this problem that we already will receive a negative answer. The first thing to do when you are trying to subtract a larger decimal from a smaller decimal is to write the larger decimal first and then add your smaller decimal. All right, so let's go ahead and fill in the gaps and then we will subtract. So first we have 8 minus 0, that's 8. 9 minus 0 is 9. You have 1 minus 6, can't do that. I'm going to borrow here in the ones place. This 3 is going to become a 2. This 1 here is going to become an 11. So now you have 11 minus 6, that's 5. And then you have 2 minus 2, that's going to give you 0. And you're going to bring your decimal down. So your final answer here we get is 0.598. But back to the original problem, we know that we're going to get a negative. So it's going to be negative 0.598 because you're taking a larger decimal from a smaller decimal. And your answer is going to be a negative. So let's try the next example. Let's subtract 4.28 minus 8.03. Let's subtract this here. Same rules apply. I already know I'm going to get a negative answer. Before I do that, let's first subtract 8.03 minus 4.28. All right, so first we're going to subtract 3 minus 8. Can't do that. I'm going to borrow right here in the 10th place. Still can't do that because it's 0. So I'm going here in the ones place. This 8 is going to become a 7. This 0 here in the 10th place is going to become a 10. But I am still stuck right here in the 100th place. So this 10 is going to become a 9. This 3 here is going to become a 13. So now you have 13 minus 8, that's going to give you 5. 9 minus 2 is 7. I'm going to bring that decimal down. And then you have 7 minus 4, that's going to give you 3. So 8.03 minus 4.28 is 3.75. But I'm going to go back to my original problem here. I'm going to get negative 3.75. Okay, and remember guys, the mathematical concept for this is if you have, let's say 5 minus 2, we know this is going to give me a positive 3, right? You have 5, you subtract 2, that's 3. But if you subtract 2 minus 5, you're going to get the same answer except it's negative 3, right? So we're doing the same concept. Let's try 2.97 minus 7.33. Okay, we already know we're going to get a negative answer because you're taking a larger number from a smaller number. First, I'm going to rewrite this problem and we're going to add 7.33 first, and then I'm going to subtract 2.97 and put that at the bottom. All right, so 3 minus 7, can't do that. I need to borrow in the 10th place. So this 3 is going to become a 2. This 3 here is going to become a 13. So now we have 13 minus 7, that's 6. And then you have 2 minus 9. Oh, I can't do that. I only have 2. So I'm going to borrow here in the ones place. This 7 is going to become a 6. This 2 here in the 10th place is going to become a 12. So you have 12 minus 9 is going to be 3. Bring that decimal down. And then we have 6 minus 2, and that's going to give me 4. So 7.33 minus 2.97 is 4.36. But here I have 2.97 minus 7.33. That's going to give me negative 4.36. So let's say you did not rewrite the problem to look like this, right? So let's say you went ahead and you kept your 2.97 minus 7.33. And you did 7 minus 3, that's 4. 9 minus 3 is 6. You brought your decimal down. And then you did 2 minus 7. That's going to give you a negative 5. This is not the same answer as you guys can see. So if you did not rewrite your problem, then you would get negative 5.64. And that is not the correct answer. So this is a no-go. Okay, this is what you want to do. All right, let's try 71.20 minus 83.99. All right, so we already know we're going to get a negative answer because we're subtracting a larger decimal from a smaller decimal. So I'm going to write the larger number on top first, minus 71.20. 9 minus 0 is 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. Bring that decimal down. 3 minus 1 is 2. And then you have 8 minus 7. That's going to give you 1. All right, so 83.99 minus 71.20 equals 12.79. However, if I have the same numbers, 71.20 minus 83.99, you're going to get negative 12.79. So let's try 35.8 minus 745.30. Based on this example here, I already know I will have a negative answer, but I'm going to rewrite and make sure that my larger number is on top. Minus 35.8. We're lining up our decimal point as well. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in the empty gaps with 0 so I can subtract. So we have 0 minus 0 is 0. 3 minus 8. Can't do that, so I need to borrow. This 5 is going to become a 4. This 3 here is going to become a 13. So now we have 13 minus 8, and that's going to give me 5. 4 minus 5, can't do that. I need to borrow. So I'm going to borrow from this 4 here is going to become a 3. This 4 here in the ones place is going to become a 14. So 14 minus 5 is 9. 3 minus 3 is 0. And then you have 7 minus 0 is going to be 7. Then you're going to bring that decimal down right here. So because I have 745.30 minus 35.80, that's going to give me a positive number, 709.50. Same numbers here, except this time I'm going to have a negative 709.50. You're subtracting a larger decimal from a smaller decimal. Whoa. Let's try this example, 4.4 minus 36. All right, based on this example here, I already know I'm going to get a negative answer. You're subtracting a larger number from a smaller number, but I'm going to go ahead and rewrite and make sure my larger number is on top first, and add your smaller number at the bottom. I'm going to fill in the blank spaces with a decimal point here and an imaginary 0. I'm also going to add an imaginary 0 here. So now we have 0 minus 4. Can't do that. I need to borrow here in the ones place. This 6 is going to become a 5. This 0 here is going to become a 10. So 10 minus 4 is 6. Bring that decimal down. And then 5 minus 4 is 1. And 3 minus 0 is going to be 3. So 36 minus 4.4 is going to be 31.6. However, 4.4 minus 36 is going to be negative 31.6. All right, let's try one more example. 9.085 minus 12.99. I already know based on this example, I'm going to get a negative answer because subtracting a larger decimal from a smaller decimal. But I'm going to rewrite and add my larger decimal on top minus the smaller decimal. All right, I'm going to fill in the empty spaces with imaginary zeros. And now I'm going to subtract. My decimal point is lined up and my numbers are lined up. So let's subtract. 0 minus 5, can't do that. I need to borrow. This 9 is going to become an 8. This 0 here is going to become a 10. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 8 minus 8 is 0. 9 minus 0 is 9. Bring that decimal down. And then here you have 12 minus 9, and that's going to give you 3. Okay, so 12.99 minus 9.085 equals 3.905. However, same numbers, 9.085 minus 12.99 equals a negative 3.905. And the key takeaway for this, guys, the mathematical concept for this, guys, is to remember, if you have 9 minus 4, this is going to give us 5. But if you switch your numbers around and you say, hey, let's do 4 minus 9, that's going to give me a negative 5. So we are doing the same exact thing here when it comes to decimals. Same exact concept. Right, guys? So that's all we have for today, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.